Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Okay, the first card that we have out is Five of Cups. Sorry, and we also have Six of Swords. Okay. With Five of Cups and Six of Swords, I definitely say that something that you had been feeling a type of way about that had been unprocessed, definitely on the emotional end, can also feel like on the mental end as well. It's something that you're feeling, okay? When we have Five of Cups, it's something that we have not reconciled yet. When we have Six of Swords, it indicates that we have. And so this can be something that you've been dealing with, something that you've been coming to terms with. Now at this point with Six of Swords, I'd say that there's an understanding of this. And I'd say even that there's an accepting of this too. And a total, full accepting of the way that you feel, of the situation as it is, and an understanding that comes with that acceptance, and now also a moving forward, which can only happen once you move through the experience, once you settle what needs to be settled. Once you learn what needs to be learned, only then can you move forward. And the thing about this too is that it's only once you've accepted how you feel about the actual situation that has taken place. So we can be stuck in that Five of Cups when we're still not accepting the situation as it is. It should have been like this. It should have been like that. Why did that happen? It's like all of the things that, all of those types of things will not allow you to process something. It's only when there is it happened like this, these are my feelings about it, and then there's the moving, and I accept my feelings about it, and then there's the moving through. I accept what happened. That doesn't mean you have to like it. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means this is the situation, these are my feelings, I'm accepting this situation, I'm accepting my feelings about it, and then you can move forward through it. That's all it takes. All it takes. Much easier said than done. But at that point, there is a place of understanding where what you needed to process, you have processed, so then you can move forward, because you're not trying to work that out anymore. You're not having to deal with that anymore. So you can, basically it will feel like I can move on with the rest of my life now. I don't need to be stuck within the why this, why that, I didn't like that happened, and I don't want to accept that was really what was going on here. This allows your story to continue after this point where you're not stuck in the past anymore. So you can be present to your life as it is currently. And that is what the Six of Swords is about. And it feels like it can move you definitely to a better time emotionally. A time where there's hope of you giving yourself the chance to connect with what you want rather than putting off what you don't want, inevitably. And there can be hope for the present and hope for the future that follows. This feels too like it really gives you a chance to go from Five of Cups, which is not what I needed, not what I wanted, not what I expected, and then moving forward to being present within your life, where we have that Six of Cups, which is going to feel like this is what I need, this is what I want, this is how I'm meant to be feeling in a situation ideally. And the healing that can happen because of that too, where it's not just stuck in resisting something you don't want anymore, but there's the moving through that to get to the good part, to get to the stuff that you do want. But going through a period of time with the Five of Cups, these can be times where we kind of lose faith a bit, where it can feel like such deep conflict within us, and we feel so unwell in relation to what's happening, or such a resistance to really accepting it, because it's hard to reconcile what we expected, what we wanted, what the expectations were, and then feeling like I really didn't get what I needed, I really didn't get what I wanted, I have needs that are unmet. This is not a situation that I want to be within. Meanwhile, all the resisting, accepting that keeps you exactly there in that position where nothing changes, because that's what it is. When you're in a situation like that too, the situation will never change because it already happened. And so the only thing that can change is your perspective, is the way that you are narrating, is the way that you are processing, and ultimately whether you accept or don't accept what it is that you're feeling. You can come down here if you want. So when we have that position, it can feel like, wow, I was disappointed, and now all of the feelings of like those unmet, all of those feelings of the unmet expectations and the wounding and the disappointment and the emotional turmoil and conflict, and just that it feels like the more you stay within that, the more it reinforces this idea of like, I didn't get what I wanted, I didn't get what I needed. And until there's this understanding of, unless I move forward, I'm not giving myself a chance to have what I want, to have what I need, to get my needs met, to be able to have that type of relationship that I want to be having, for me to be in my natural state that is not a state of conflict, I'm gonna have to move forward. And in order to move forward, I have to accept what has taken place, because what has occurred cannot change. It has already happened. So the only thing I can do about this is to accept it. So where am I resistant to accepting that? And as soon as that happens, you get to move out of that place. You don't need to be in that situation anymore. And you get a chance, you get the opportunity to connect with what you want to connect with, rather than being within something where it's not going to change. Your needs, in a situation where your needs were not met, it doesn't matter how much you think about it, it's not going to make it meet your needs. You know what I'm saying? So and if you want to focus on sustainable joy within your life and connection and just the things that you're looking for, the only place you're going to find that is in the present. And this is the kind of stuff that keeps you away from the present moment, by focusing on the past. And that's the only place, it's ironic because that's the only place you're guaranteed not to connect with what you want. I feel like there's an ease of tension mentally. Gotta do a little work around here. That was now part of the spread. No, keep that there. But I'm seeing Eight of Swords like wanting to come out reversed, and I'd say that this is going from feeling stuck, kind of like you can't move, kind of like you can't process, to there being a releasing and there being an opening that's happening. This feels like an opening of the throat chakra. Some of you may find that practicing affirmations can be helpful. You want to find the right ones to be repeating. They can really be helpful, depending on what you believe. If you believe that they'll be helpful, they can definitely be helpful. I do get the feeling of missing something that you know. This feeling of being in a situation where there's like stagnating within the disappointment, then there being this feeling of wanting to move forward, and also this feeling too of maybe like knowing what you're missing as well. I do want to clarify this. Yeah. You can feel really focused on, again, like a situation that has happened. It's not something that's currently happening. This is a situation that has already happened. You can feel very focused on what had happened within that, and you can feel drained just because of the conflict that's associated with this, associated with the things energetically that are unprocessed. And you can feel too like, this is what I need and want. This is not what I need and want. I'm in a place where I don't have what I need and what I want here. And when we have Five of Pentacles too, I feel like that's generally like we're not even getting the bare minimum necessarily of what we would need to be able to move through a situation. You can feel like you have needs that are unmet. You can feel like you're not at your best. It definitely doesn't feel like flourishing. Moving through this process is going to help you heal. It's going to give you this sense of hope for how things can be. I think the more you're holding on to this, maybe even this belief of things not going well for you, or just like inevitably being in this circumstance, there can be something about your beliefs that you're going to be looking into and maybe correcting, maybe doing some deliberate checking in about belief systems that are associated with the situation that you're in, things that you're not, things that you can still be holding on to. I also feel like you're in a space where there's an understanding, you're moving to a place, and inevitably it does feel better. At the same time, you can feel like this really knocked the wind out of you. I feel like there can be some repressed stuff here. Maybe there are some moves that haven't fully come to fruition yet. Okay, for those of you that understand this notion of feeling really restless and feeling some really intense energy coming up within you, but then rather than acting it out, sort of swallowing it instead and like holding that within you, you know how you get so tired? It's like lifting internal weights, like doing some type of resistance. And so I feel like there's some type of repression even that can be going on here that is being worked through, is in the process of being worked through. And I think too that feeling of missing home can also really be coming up as well, because I'm seeing Six of Cups hanging over the head of Four of Cups. And when we're in Four of Cups, it's kind of being like down in the dumps. But then having Six of Cups hanging over the head of Four of Cups, it feels kind of like I carry within me memories of a place that feels like home, and knowing that this is very different than that feeling. This is the feeling where I feel disconnected from that even. There can be just that weight that's sort of laying on you right now, where you feel like that feeling of being at home and the sustenance that's connected with that, and the difference between that versus what you're experiencing now, it can have you feeling the opposite of energized. It can have you feeling drained. And you can almost feel immobile emotionally because of that. Like you kind of don't have anything left. It feels like being so thirsty for something that's going to nourish you, and feeling like you've tried the things and still left with these empty cups, and then sort of just sitting there being like, I tried, I didn't find what I was looking for, and I feel like if I make an effort, like what's the use anyway? What's the point of this anyway? I might as well just sit here. Because last time when I was sitting here, that's what this Four of Cups is reminding me of. Like, I looked around, I tried to go here and there and was hoping that I would get these cups filled so I could quench my thirst. But I tried and it didn't end up working, and I got nothing in these cups. And so this almost feels like a little bit of a giving up. That can just be the feeling. I'm not saying this is like gonna be it for the rest of all time, but it can just be the way that you're feeling right now. of just being still. And it can be a time too when you reevaluate things in this stillness and you reconnect with something that inspires you, something that gives you a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, a sense of hope, a sense of peace. And to focus on that. You can feel very disinterested in figuring out the next steps forward. At the same time, you can know that if you don't do that, nothing is going to change, and you can very much want things to change, and that can motivate you enough. It's one of those times where you may not feel like you have the fuel right now, but you can transmute hope into fuel here, and that's what's going to help you step out of this. So even though you can feel like you don't have a maybe normal if there are certain types of fuel that feel like more universal, okay, to use, it feels like you've run out of all of those things, and now you have to go like outside of the box with where you're getting your fuel from to motivate your next steps. So you have something here within this situation that can motivate you, that can fuel you, but I feel almost like you have to make it go through some type of process where you can use it. It's going to be like an alchemical process. This is going to be the transmutation of what's going on right now. And to use that and turn that into something that you can use as fuel to help you step forward within this process when it can feel like almost impossible to do so, yet it is possible. And that's what I'm seeing here. And this can be you finding support anywhere, anything that feels like home, anything that feels like constancy, anything that feels like comfort. This can be good memories. This can be things that bring you joy and a sense of connection and emotional reciprocity now, no matter where it is that you're finding it from, no matter how it is that you're connecting with it, and it feels like that will fuel your next steps. And I think knowing too that things are more transient, you're not just destined to be staying in this position. Things will move to a place, everything is ever changing. It will move to a place that will be one that you enjoy, one that you feel you connect with. And to infuse your next steps with that in mind and that in heart, even though it can feel like the most difficult thing to be doing right now. I am seeing the star here. The star is connected with Aquarius. The star represents healing and hopes and inspiration and purpose and direction and big wish fulfillments on a grand scale. Going from something that feels like maybe one of the most difficult, challenging circumstances and shifting into something that feels like a dream, but real life. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.